far worse things waiting, man, than death.
You will be scared shitless.
Good evening. This is S. Michael, and with me, as always, is
Aaron Dawn.
Thank you, Jello.
And we are the Scared Shitless podcast. Well into season 2 now, after the holidays and some health scares and family things and all kinds of drama for your mama. And we've come out the other side. So, the last time we met, we did Slinky's. Probably, am I accurate in saying it's your favorite Jallo?
Yeah, it's one of them. One of
Slinky's favorite Jallo films,
yeah.
Blood and Black Lace. I do want to apologize to the audience. I rushed to get that posted, and it now is sitting on YouTube with some very rough sound quality, unfortunately. So I'm going to go back in and clean that up as best I can. But in the meantime, we during that episode discussed briefly the American Jallo by Mr. Brian DePalma, which true Jallo fans say that with a smirk.
Because Brian De Palma's never seen Blood and Black Lace.
Right.
Or he's never seen Bay of Blood. Yeah.
Dressed to Kill, which borrows greatly from many actual Jallo films. But because De Palma was mentioned, and this is one of my favorite movies of all time, I suggested that we do Phantom of the Paradise. So that is the film we'll be doing tonight. And Aaron Dawn, I believe this is a virgin viewing for you. Is that correct?
This was absolutely a virgin viewing for me. I had never seen it, I had heard of it, and I knew that Paul Williams was involved, and that was where it stopped. I didn't know a damn thing about it. In fact, I'm pretty sure I found out that it was a Brian De Palma movie today as well.
No, you've never seen it. So,
Slink, what's your background on this movie?
It's fun. I'm trying to think. I saw this on Encore back in like 95 or 96. I was a teenager, and it was right before I started smoking weed and drinking. So I distinctly remember when I watched this movie. Like, I remember the time and place that I watched it, and I loved the shit out of it. Thought it was great. The music's the main reason I like the movie. But it came on Encore, and like it came on Encore a lot. And so I saw it like 10 times in like 2 months, man. Like every time I would come home from school, it would be on TV. So I would just let it play. And I love it. I love it. I love the shit out of it. I love the guy's costume. I love the whole idea. From when I saw it, that's what I always envisioned a deal with a record. Any record company would be like. They would break into song and dance. Paul Williams would come out and try to murder me with a record press. Like the whole thing. Like, so it was just that and Tommy were my introduction to the music industry.
Awesome. Tommy's another great movie, man.
Those are like my
period.
Rock musicals, the two.
Yeah.
And I don't even like The Who, but I like Tommy.
Yeah, no, I love Oliver Reed in that movie. He cracks me up.
Yeah. And so, but this one I dug. And like it has the Brian De Palma split screen.
Yes.
It's really cool, man. Like it's it's flicked to where you know it. And it came out so long ago, 74. Is that what you said? 74?
Yeah, 74.
Because I love this movie, but I don't know shit about it. And what's funny is you and I were talking one day, and out of the blue, we both were like, Phantom of the Paradise. And it was like, oh shit, there's another movie Sims and I both really like.
Yeah, it probably came up in the context of Rockula because
it was.
Yeah, so to me, this is Rockula of the 70s, basically.
Because you asked me if I'd ever done a picture from Phantom of the Paradise, and I was like, no, I want to, and you were like, you should, and so yeah, that was the extent of the conversation. But I
love that Aaron Dawn and I met through fans of Rockula.
We talked about that not long ago. We heard actually said that. Yeah,
and I don't think I would have fallen in love with Rockula as much as I did had I not already been in love with this movie.
Yes.
It basically is your perfect cult romance, comedy, horror film.
This is a good gateway rockbra, whatever, however you say it. Rock opera. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it captures several.
That's what got me. I wouldn't like genetic opera if it wasn't for this movie. So yeah,
it's a perfect gateway film for horror comedy musicals, basically, which there are precious few out there, but I kind of think I like them all. even the mainstream Rocky Horror Picture Show, which came out a year after this and completely overshadowed it.
Yeah, she told me today for the first time it was a flop when it came out. I was shocked when she told me that. I
Oh,
was
what,
like,
Fan of
that
the
Phantom of the
Paradise?
Paradise was a
Yeah.
bomb. Apparently, it was a
They got an
bomb.
Oscar nomination for one of the
Yeah,
songs,
one of the posters said Oscar nominated Phantom of the Paradise. I was like, son of a
but
bitch.
that was it. Yeah, other than that, now it succeeded in two places. It
Yeah,
was a huge hit in France
of course it was.
and in Winnipeg.
Of
And
course it was. Of course it was. Yeah, yeah.
oddly enough,
Canadians are just better people than we are.
Canadians,
they
yeah,
have
you're
a
not worthy of
convention
their
every
being their
single
neighbor.
year in Winnipeg to celebrate Phantom of the Paradise. They have
Yeah.
Phantom Palooza, and they've been doing it for years.
And
So,
like years ago, there was a company. It's one of those. I think it's a Chinese or a Japanese company that make like those high end toys. They made a doll of Winslow Leach from the movie, and it's like, oh,
awesome.
it's really cool, man. It's really cool. You're like, oh shit. But so it's, I still can't believe the movie bombed, and it's cool for horror people because it's Brian DePalma, so it's even an easier gateway drug movie. You know what I mean? Like for a horror guy like me when I was 15, I was like, what's this Phantom of the Paradise? What is this?
Uh-huh.
And
And it
because
had
it's
an effect on
horror,
the
yeah,
music
it's so cool.
industry in a big way.
Yeah, yeah.
That I don't know if I should talk about it at the beginning or later on. Probably jump
No,
into
no,
the
you're the
movie.
one. You're gonna carry this bitch. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, this movie is another like it's another one like Twilight Zone the movie that's almost an existential movie for me. So we always start with backgrounds. So like I saw it when I was around 14 years old in Virginia Beach for the first time on VHS. It was probably the early 90s, and my dad had rented it from the video store, and he just stuck it on, and my brothers and sister sat down with me and watched this stupid movie, and we just kept making fun of it. Like we just thought it was the most ridiculous thing we'd ever seen. And after we watched it, it was almost like I felt about Napoleon Dynamite years later. I kept quoting it and thinking of the music from it, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. And we kept watching it over and over. And finally, we ended up begging my dad to buy the movie for us.
Yeah.
So it was like
Very
actually
infectious.
about 5 years ago now, we had a reunion, a family reunion, and we all watched Phantom of the Paradise together to commemorate the
That's
first
neat,
time we
man.
watched it. So
Yeah.
it's not just me, but like people in my family just love this fucking movie. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about how important this movie was to the music
And
industry.
it's funny
So,
because over Christmas break, if you want to call it that,
uh-huh.
we were all talking, and Erin asked me, she's like, "Does Sims have like a copy of it?" And I was like, "I don't know." I said, "Probably." I was like, "Because Sims likes it like that." And
Yeah,
funny that
so
you
I,
said you
I
got a
actually
Blu-ray
did
of it.
have
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Blu-ray, but I gave it to my kid brother when he threw that party.
Okay.
I let him keep it. And Christine, my girlfriend, got it for me for Christmas. So yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful transfer. It's got
Yeah,
bonus
the cover for
features.
that one, I know exactly which one you're talking about. The cover
Yeah.
is awesome as hell. When you and I met online about my artwork for the very first time, I remember looking into Phantom of the Paradise, and that's when I found out it was like a rare movie, like it was out of print and da 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 da. And at the time, the last time I had saw it was around that time. It was somebody had it on YouTube and it was cut up into 10 parts. And so I remember watching it on the porch where I was staying at on my cell phone. That was the last time I watched Phantom of the Paradise. And yeah, so it's a rare movie. So yeah, definitely enjoy the copy you got, that Blu-ray you have.
Yeah, it's another one like Dracula that kind of, had its cult following, but pretty much slipped through the cracks for years, and then finally somebody put out a Blu-ray. Um, but yeah, so as far as the music industry goes, Paul Williams, let's just talk about him for a second. I mean, for one, he's the president of ASCAP, which I don't think there is a higher position you can hold in the music industry.
Yeah, Americans. What's ASCAP? Say
Uh,
say what it stands for.
okay. What does ASCAP stand for? I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to use Google. It
Hearing.
stands for American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
basically, they're the royalties people.
Right, exactly. And like I was telling Slank, I said every song that I love was written by one of three people. It was either written by Paul Williams, Desmond Child, or Jim Steinman. Like those are my, you know what I mean? Like
I
every
know
song
Paul
that,
Williams and Desmond Child. I know
yep,
Desmond Child because of Aerosmith, but
of
who's
course.
the third one? I don't know him.
Oh, Jim Steinman wrote all of Meatloaf's music. He wrote Holding Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler. He also
Yes.
wrote Making
So
Love Out of
the
Nothing at
soundtrack
All.
of my childhood, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, he wrote Making Love Out of Nothing at All by
Yes.
Air Supply. And so it's very near and dear to my heart. And I loved this movie. I thought this movie was fantastic.
Man,
I
so good.
absolutely loved it. Loved it.
Love the shit out of it.
Loved it. Couldn't take my eyes
I
off
don't
of
want
it.
to say I knew you would, but I really, really hoped you would.
Dude, as soon as you dropped the name, and she was like, "Oh, I've never seen it." I was like, "You're gonna love it." Like, yeah, it's good. It's good.
All right, so Paul Williams, to refocus on him for just a second, and I'm going to see him in Pennsylvania in April with Christine.
Oh,
We're making a road trip.
Tell him you have a nerdy friend who is a big fan of his Batman the Animated Series work.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I might have to send you some Penguin autographed memorabilia.
Yes. I got
We'll
a
see.
Penguin
We'll see how
collection
it
because
goes.
of that motherfucker. Like, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah.
But Paul Williams, so yes, wrote the Rainbow Connection, which is
Hmm.
like one of my all-time favorite songs
Of course.
from the Muppet movie. He wrote like tons of music for the Muppets and their various films. He was a guest on the Muppet Show and on
That's
the
all right.
Tonight Show and
Muppet Show,
tons of
yeah.
stuff in the 70s.
Mhm.
But as far as genre stuff, he hasn't done a whole lot of horror, but he was in one of the Planet of the Apes movies, and there's this hilarious video of him dressed as like Dr. Zayas from Planet of the Apes singing this love song on the Tonight Show. It's so funny. He's
Oh,
just
that's
smoking a
amazing.
cigarette singing as this ape character. But he wrote the Carpenter's greatest hits. He wrote Three
Uh-huh.
Dog Night songs, just
Uh-huh.
a songwriter's songwriter.
Ugh.
My favorite song that he ever wrote is actually not from Phantom of the Paradise, although I love all of the songs in this movie.
Yeah,
It's called
soundtrack
Someday
is
Man.
it's so
The
good.
Monkees did a cover of it. But Paul Williams is absolutely my favorite songwriter. And so it was amazing to me that he played a record like executive producer guy in this movie and ended up being the president of ASCAP.
Mhm.
And to tie all that into significance in the music industry, so Daft Punk, do you know who they are?
I do, and I know those helmets anywhere.
Yep.
And they kind of look a little bit like Winslow's helmet.
Very much look like Winslow's.
And there's a reason for that. And legend has it that this is their favorite movie, that they actually met or became friends and watched this movie together when it first came out in France, which is one of the few places it succeeded. And when they did Random Access Memories, that album, Paul Williams did a song with them on the album called Touch. They ended up winning Grammy Album of the Year for that album.
Of course.
And at the end of, or not at the end of the show, but during the show, they do this live performance with Stevie Wonder and Pharrell Williams and Nigel Rodgers of Get Lucky. And the
Yep.
set is designed after the set in the recording studio in Phantom of the Paradise. It was this, yes, it was this giant recording equipment called Tonto that was basically popularized by Stevie Wonder. So there he was singing with them. And then Paul Williams at the end of the show comes out and accepts Grammy of the Year for Daft fucking Punk. And I was just like, this couldn't be any fucking cooler for a fan of Phantom of the Paradise. So my fucking mind was blown and I cried like a little baby and it was just so fucking amazing. But that's my little existential moment for Phantom of the Paradise. Let's do what we always do and go chronologically. And I know Slink, you're gonna love this. So opening up the film is the very recognizable voice of none other than
Don't know. I can't. No, what is it? What is it?
The Twilight Zone.
Oh, Rod Serling. Yeah, I said
yes, and he was uncredited, so I don't blame you for not knowing that. But yes, that's absolutely Rod Serling. Not long before he died.
You did. You were the one.
It's like, oh, it's the Phantom.
You're like, that's Rod. They're like, that's Rod Serling, and I was like, oh, okay, you know.
Oh, Rod Serling's gonna take us to the paradise.
Hmm.
Gone.
So yeah, he frames the movie as a modern morality tale, the monster who stole it, just gives this great opening speech, and you see the symbol for Death Records.
Yeah, record.
Yes.
So interesting factoid, originally they were going to call it Swan Song Records, because the
Mm.
name of the character is Swan, played by Paul Williams, and they got sued or threatened to be sued by Led Zeppelin because their little record company that they made was called Swan Song Records. And so, yeah, they threatened litigation, and they actually
Yeah,
had to change several scenes in the movie that said Swan Song to Death Records,
Bastard.
I
like
know.
superimpose shit.
Fuck Led Zeppelin.
Exactly, man.
So yeah, we get that nice dark little narration, and then boom, the juicy fruits. Live and
I
in
love
person.
The
this.
juicy fruit, the lemon heads.
Yeah, no, I love this because I recognized Archie Hahn, the lead singer of the Juicy Fruits,
Uh-huh.
from Amazon Women on the Moon, from Police Academy 5 and 6, from he
He
was
was also an Earthquake,
yeah.
Dragon Slayer, one of my favorite early 80s
Yeah, he's a
fantasy
cool
films.
dude. Like I saw him, I was like, "Oh, I've seen that. I knew who that guy is." And so, and I heard. Now you might want to correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that he actually did do his singing because I know that certain people did not do their
Right.
singing, but I heard that Archie Hahn did
Archie
his
Hahn
singing.
did, in fact, do his own singing.
Cool
Also, Peter
beans.
Elbling, the kind of taller, dark-haired guy, did his own singing. He is the Undead's singer later in the movie. Um,
Oh,
The
the guy,
Undeads, the Undeads.
the ones that look like Kiss.
yes,
Those, like, the
yes.
Kiss stunt doubles. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it's funny though. They were actually not modeled after Kiss. They were modeled after the same artist that was inspiration for Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, the German expressionist artist. I can't ever, was it Munch? I can't ever remember the artist, but that's what they were supposed to be modeled after. This came
Oh.
out in 74, was filmed in 73, and by coincidence, Kiss came out around the same time. So I'm
Oh, so
certain that
Kiss
a lot of
probably
people
ripped
are
this
like,
off.
oh,
Yeah.
they're ripping off Kiss. But if
Yeah.
they were ripping
No,
anybody
they
off,
probably Kiss probably ripped them off.
Them off.
possibly. If they were ripping anybody off, although I think it would be Alice Cooper because they did a lot of his like similar stage antics with the bodies and stuff. But yes, Archie Hahn, and then also Peter Elbling, and I know Peter Elbling from Mr. T's "Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool." He wrote and directed that, um, which is, if you've never seen it, do yourself a favor, look it up on YouTube. Mr. T, it's an inspirational, motivational video. It features him rapping to lyrics by Ice-T. It's got people from Fame. Martika is in it when she was little.
Oh yeah, because she was in Kids Incorporated.
Yes, and it's got a bunch of the Kids Incorporated people, including Fergie, when
Mm-hmm.
she was little. So
Yep.
yeah, it's a definite treat. At least watch it to hear Mr. T rap about how important motherhood is and staying in school.
And staying in school.
And stay in school. That's good.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Wow.
But
Oh,
yes, the juicy fruits.
yes. I was gonna say the other Archie Hahn movie that most 80s kids would know is Meatballs 2. He is actually he's Jamie, the really horny camp counselor who just wants to have sex with the chick with the big boobies. And he's also the voice of Meathead, the little alien guy. Mhm.
No way.
Yes, he did
The
double duty in
ET
that.
knockoff, yes, because
Yes.
everybody needed ET and Alien in their movie after that came out. So
Terrible fucking sequel. But yeah.
I watched it hundreds of times when I was a kid.
Oh, so many times. I loved Kim Richards and her long blonde hair. I thought she was absolutely perfect. So
But yeah, the Juicy Fruits do this song, Goodbye, Eddie, Goodbye, all about a guy who basically kills himself so he can pay for his sister's operation. And the theme comes up that the American people love a good tragedy, basically, and it kind
mm.
of fits in with what happens later in the film. So this is our introduction to the mind of Paul Williams and his brilliant lyrics. Like little Eddie Mitty, born in Jersey City, started singing when he was 5, never knew his mother, father didn't bother to leave his last name fast as he came. What a brilliant freaking lyricist this guy is. So
He's a dark dude.
Yeah, blew my freaking mind. It's a fun 50s style song. They actually
I would say
wanted
it
Sha
sounds
Na
very
Na.
doo-woppy. Yeah, again, sounds very doo-woppy.
Yep, they wanted to get Sha Na Na, and they had them come in and audition, and apparently they were too much of a pain in the ass for DePalma to work with. So he was like, nope. So
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I think they did better getting Archie Hahn and the boys.
Yay.
But I love no the tragic story. I love the little accent that he puts on for it.
Yeah, when he puts the accent on, first when I saw him, I went, "That's Harvey Pekar from Amazon Women on the Moon." That was the first thought I had. But then when he spoke, I was like, he sounds like Triumph the Insult comic dog. So I was like, well, he has an accent. But then I looked at his face and I went, no, that's absolutely Archie Hahn. So
Yeah, it's fun. He's grabbing his crotch, and like you see stuff going on in the background, like the band members sexually harassing women in the audience, and
so many
fun 70s stuff. So
fun 70s things that were okay back in the 70s.
So the song ends gloriously, and then no applause, which is very odd after such a energetic number. And then finally, we see a pair of white gloved hands in an opera box clap, and then everybody applauds. So we are introduced to Swan for the first time. He starts having a conversation with Philbin, who is played by George Mamoli. And I don't remember George Mamoli in other movies, but apparently he was a popular character actor from around that time period. He was in Mean Streets and The Last Waltz, and I know he was on a popular cop show, a cop drama at that time. But I loved him. I loved his New York accent, and
Hill Street Blues.
yeah, just an excellent actor, I thought. And so he's talking about this singer who they had signed to a lifetime contract, who basically told them to go screw themselves after she got a big hit, and wants to go, in his words, give free concerts to starving, quote, gook orphans.
Oh, I know. There were a lot of those moments in this movie.
Yeah.
Trust
And
me.
so
There were a lot of
I
problematic
cringed a
moments.
little bit when I heard that again, but I was like, wow, yeah, this was the early
Yeah, because I haven't
70s.
seen this movie in a long time. So yeah.
Yeah, there's another moment like that coming up where I have to definitely
Ooh.
emphasize the quotes. But Swan basically tells him, calm down, it's fine. She's here today, gone tomorrow. And then he hears the music coming from the middle of the stage, which has now been cleared of the juicy fruits. And in their place is Winslow Leach, who they show a little scene of him like pasting his Winslow Leach at the piano over top of the Juicy Fruits logo. And here he is just pouring his heart and soul into this beautiful song, piano driven, melodic, sort of a lot of minor keys, this ballad, this strange ballad. And he's like, shut up, Philbin. And he's like, this is the song. This is the music that I've been waiting for all these years to open up the paradise. And so we get our first taste of Swan's like villainy, but also his ambition and his love of music. And that's a theme I think that the movie was really trying to drive home, is like, Winslow is giving this awesome performance basically for free. He's pouring his heart and soul out, and nobody is listening. It takes a piece of shit like Swan to take his music and do something with it.
And package it and put it out.
Yeah, because Winslow is like a kind of a, it's funny, when he started playing, I didn't even know that was Paul Williams dubbed, really. I didn't know that, but he reminded me so much of Stephen Bishop. Like, he had this very, and for anybody who's wondering who the fuck Stephen Bishop is, in the 1970s and the 1980s, Stephen Bishop was famous for singing the theme from Tootsie, as well as a lot of other songs. But people would know him as the guitar player in Animal House, who John Belushi steals his guitar and beats it in the side of the
Yeah, I mean, I did not love Finley's voice on this song. And it's funny because later you get to hear Paul Williams singing it when he plugs him into the console, which was so funny to me that he uses his own voice. He's that arrogant that he uses his own voice for Winslow's songs. But
hell yeah.
He had almost like a Bob Dylan vibe, but it was very passionate and a beautiful song. It's almost like as long as you're hitting the notes right, it's hard to screw up a song that's great. So, but yeah, Swan hears it, tells Philbin, this is the guy. This is well, not the guy. He said this is the music, but he's
This
like,
is the music.
what do I do with the guy? And he's like, we'll
Fuck
think of
that
something.
guy. But
We'll think
yeah.
of something.
It's been a
So
month.
Philbin goes to meet Winslow, tells him that Swan loves the music, wants to open the paradise with it, and then he screws up and says, "Yeah, I think the juicy fruits are gonna dig it." And Winslow loses his shit. He slams him up against the wall. I'm not gonna let those grease balls mutilate my music. And so we kind of get our first glimpse of Winslow's anger issues.
Mm.
Little foreshadowing of things to come, possibly. Philbin calms him down, says, Swan makes all of these decisions. Why don't you go ahead and give me the music? We'll look over it. We'll figure out what to do with it. And Winslow, being the naive, artist that he is, says, sure, gives over the music. And then we don't see Philbin again for a while. Poor Winslow is trying to figure out what's going on with his music. Yeah, so chronologically from there, Winslow figures out that the Juicy Fruits are going to be doing his song when he shows up at Swan's mansion. And there's a little musical interlude as he walks up to the mansion, which I wish they would have done a full song out of it. But there's lots of like little moments like that throughout the movie. It's almost like a silent film music vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of
today. I said to her today we were watching. I think it was during the scene where he goes back to Death Records and he's like, "It's been a month." Da, da, da. I said to her, I said, "This is like a cartoon, only it's live action.
yeah, it's got
Like
that
the way it's
sort of
shot and
upbeat,
everything.
yeah.
It's pretty cool."
But he sneaks into the man. Well, he doesn't really sneak in. He goes in while girls are auditioning his music to sing as a backup chorus for the Juicy Fruits. And
Auditioning in
auditioning.
quotes.
And we meet the young and beautiful Phoenix, who is played by none other than Jessica fucking Harper. If you want a Italian horror movie tie-in,
Suspiria, baby.
Susie Banyan, baby.
there's none better. Yeah, she excels at appearing in movies in the 70s and early 80s that were very colorful and strange.
Yeah, it's like this in Shock Treatment.
Yes.
Suspiria, Shock Treatment. This, yeah, I mean, and
She
she's
was
a
in
dead
Pennies from
ringer.
Heaven with
Oh,
Christopher Walken and Bernadette Peters and Steve Martin, which is a very rarely seen musical from the early 80s.
oh, that's cool. And she's a dead ringer for Karen Allen, also.
Yes, the hair for sure.
Crazy.
She went on to become a children's musician, basically singer for children's music.
That's
Put
cool.
out a bunch of CDs in the 80s and 90s, and basically
And she was very nice to me on Facebook.
Yeah, me too, dude.
You remember that Suspiria picture I did, right?
Yes.
Well, I sent her a copy of it. And she was like super gracious and very nice to me for it. So
Yeah, I've had a couple of interactions with her on social media, and she's always been super nice. She ended up marrying like this very famous executive from a major studio. And so I actually saw her at the Oscars a few years ago, sitting right next to Brad fucking Pitt during the Oscars. I was like, oh, that's Jessica Harper.
That's
What
amazing.
are you doing here? Oh, yeah, because you're married to so and so. But yeah, so she kept her, music alive over the years by doing children's music. But I always thought her voice was very clean and pretty and pure, like Karen Carpenter.
Karen Carpenter. That is literally what I said when she came out. I was like, she's got the Karen Carpenter voice,
Yeah.
and that's not something to that's not an easy thing to pull off.
So we meet her, Winslow meets her, and she's trying to sing the song that he wrote. Doesn't have it quite right, so he helps her get it just right. Tells her how great she is, gives her this long, awkward hug, which I thought was funny. Like,
Hair sniffing.
yeah.
yeah, it's like, okay, you guys just met, but you have a 30-second hug. Okay.
Why not?
It was the 70s. Why not? And then she goes in to audition and she says, I'll tell Swan that you're out here looking for him. And that's when, yeah, Philbin and the gang jump on her on the casting couch and audition her.
Mm.
And so she leaves before auditioning. She's in tears, and Philbin tried to. I just can't sing like this, And he's like, "Did you tell Swan I was here?" And then out come the thugs. They kick him out of the mansion. And so now we have the part where we have more political incorrectness. He sneaks back into the mansion dressed as a girl,
Just as a
and
girl.
he's on
Yeah.
Swan's casting couch, like this bed that he's going to audition these girls in, and they're talking about how he's filming them, and they
Called
make
the
out
Hugh
with each
Hefner
other.
model. Called the Hugh
It
Hefner.
literally looks like something out of Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And he walks in his Valley of the Dolls silk pajamas. And he says, "Get this quote fag out of here," talking about Winslow dressed like a woman. Yeah, you wouldn't get away with that these days.
Good
This
Lord.
was the early 70s. That was still acceptable at the time. But they kick him out, beat him up, plant drugs on him, and tell him, "Do you know what you can get for pushing in this state? Life." And they send him to Sing Sing. And there he becomes a prisoner for drug pushing. And they take his teeth during this hilarious sequence where they talk about teeth are going to be removed because they're a source of infection. And this is a program initiated by the Swan Foundation. So not only does he go to prison for trying to get his music back from Swan, but then he now has his teeth pulled and replaced by metal teeth.
Metal teeth.
Because of this Swan Foundation initiative. So he just cannot escape from Swan. And there he is with his metal teeth, putting together tiddlywinks with the other prisoners. And what should come on the radio but Swan's Faust by the Juicy Fruits.
Ooh.
And of course, he just loses his
The
shit.
temper is back.
Yes, now the real Winslow is coming out to play. He picks up a walkie-talkie off a guard and beats the shit out of him with it. Flees the compound. It's hilarious too. He like jumps in a box and they drop the box on the street. And he pops out of it.
Ship it out and he lands. Yeah, it's really fun.
Very, like you said, Slink. It's very, very cartoonish.
It's like a cartoon. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of fun.
But he runs to Death Records, the record plant. Meets the same girl at the desk is sitting there that wouldn't let him in earlier. That during that scene where he tries to meet Swan and he says, "I'm here to see Swan. I wrote the music," and she files through and it says Winslow Leach, never to be seen.
Yeah, never to be seen ever.
That was the first time they kick him out, but it's the same girl, and so she pushes the button. There's an intruder, and he's running through, tearing everything up. And then he finds the record press, and he's got dynamite, and he's going to blow up the record press so they can't release Swan worldwide, or Swan's Faust worldwide. And then the guard shoots him, and he falls into the record press, gets his face burned, runs out into the street. He's wounded, and then he falls into the river. Great place for a musical interlude, but that's the thing about this movie. It's not quite a musical. It's more a drama with like musical interludes. It doesn't like automatically burst into song.
It's
like
a bunch of music videos that are together.
Yeah,
that just tell a long narrative.
Yeah. People don't just burst into song singing about a particular topic like they do in
right, because it's not
true
not a
musical.
traditional it's not a traditional musical in the sense that people are not singing about the action or the thing that's happening at the moment. It's a little bit rock opera and a little bit almost concert film in a lot of ways too, because there's a lot of live performances.
But I do love the incidental music. Again, it kind of harkens back to the kind of 1920s silent era music that they would play with the violins and harpsichords and whatnot. And it shows newspaper clipping, Mad Toonsmith bites bullet.
And the tiniest thing, it's like relegated to the very bottom of the newspaper.
Page 3. Yeah.
And of course, the headline is Juicy Fruits preen Swan's Faust, and they're going to open the paradise with it. So yes, the Phantom is born. He infiltrates the paradise.
Yeah.
Does the whole slasher POV thing. You hear his raspy breath, as he sneaks into the where they're doing the music, the song, basically taking his beautiful song that he was singing earlier, Faust, and turning it into a Beach Boys song.
Oh, with
Um,
blonde wigs.
oh my
Yeah.
God. And just changing the lyrics to just crapola. He had been singing about like love and star-crossed lovers and like
Mhm.
fate and destiny, and they turned it into like carburetors, man. That's what life is all about. Just like this pure shit, that would have been hugely popular in the early 60s. But yeah, it's hilarious. Like the same group that plays the Juicy Fruits plays, I think, three different bands in
Yep.
this movie. And so in this incarnation, they're the Beach Bums.
The Beach Bums, Juicy Fruits, and the Undeads.
And
And
so Winslow gets his costume out of the costuming department and he sneaks
Mhm.
in and plants this dynamite in the back of the prop
And
car.
it's like a cartoon looking dynamite. Like the
Yes,
coyote
absolutely.
purchased it at Acme. Like it's
Absolutely,
really
yes.
funny. And
Wile E.
what's
Coyote
cool is
vibes
that's
for
when the
sure.
split screen happens, man.
Yes,
It's
yes,
cool
I love it.
because now I want to watch the original Phantom of the Opera with a split screen because I want to see like how he sabotages the chandelier, like just in a split screen. So it's kind of cool. It just makes me want to see Phantom of the Opera in a split screen. That's
Well,
all.
it made me want to watch Carrie again because that was the first time I had seen
Oh,
De Palma
yeah.
use that. Was in Carrie. He does it a
Hmm.
lot in Carrie, and it's actually, it's a device that works well if it's done right.
Holy fuck when he does it, man. It's cool. Yeah.
And I've seen it in other movies, but not quite as well done as De Palma has done it,
Mm.
with few exceptions. So very cool. Um, and so we're introduced to the Phantom, and he runs into Swan after the disaster, and Swan basically tells him, "Yeah, I fucked up. I stole your music, but." Trust me, because I'm
Mhm.
gonna turn you into the hugest thing on the planet, basically. And that's it for the time being. They meet briefly, and we learn just how scummy Swan is, and we see him actually for the first time. We see Swan, during and right after that disaster. And yes, it's the great Paul Williams, who I think is all of like 5'1", if that. So
He's tiny. He's a short
he's a
king.
wee man.
Guy, little guy. Yeah. Short king.
Mm.
Short king.
I love you.
And so this is like Slinky. I'm There's so many things that I want to say about this movie, that it's like I get a little caught up and it's hard to pick which things to talk about because we only basically have a little over an hour. And I have so many things that I can say about this movie, but I'm trying to stick to the chronology
Uh-huh.
because that's kind of the safest way to get through it. So I think right after that, um, isn't that when we yes, so Phoenix gets to audition this time. She does a song called Special to Me, and she does this hilarious, like backwards chicken dance 70s disco thing.
Really funny.
But beautiful
Wow.
vocals.
Huh?
And that's when Winslow, basically, the Phantom, tells Swan, my music is for her. She's the one who should be singing my songs.
Mm.
She's good. Basically, you can tell he's in love with her and he wants her to be the star. And Swan basically promises Winslow that okay, yeah, the music will be she'll do your music. You can write for her, and so that's how they form this kind of unwitting collaboration. And he locks Winslow up to finish his cantata and write his music for Phoenix. But in the meantime, behind the scenes, right, because he's all devious, we learn that Swan actually, well, first he has Winslow sign a contract,
In blood, a Faustian pact,
yes.
if you will.
And it's so funny when Swan takes his turn to sign. So he pricks Winslow's finger and has him sign with a pen, but then he pricks his own finger and puts it on a stamp, one of those rubber stamps that says Swan, and just stamps it, like a typical executive level guy. But so he signs Winslow to this seedy contract. It's so funny too. Is Winslow asks him a few questions like, "What does this part mean?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a clause to protect you, Winslow." Party of the first part gets the party of the second part. What does that mean? It's a transportation clause. Oh, okay.
Yeah, transportation clause.
Right.
Yeah.
So Winslow's not the brightest tool in the shed, sharpest tool in the shed, but so we then learn that Swan is not interested in Phoenix so much. And Philbin even calls him out on it. He said, I thought you said she was perfect. And he says, yes, but you know how I abhor perfection in anyone but myself. So
Yeah.
let's find someone else. Let's find someone else to do the music. And so they do this hilarious montage of other musical styles singing this Faustian song.
Mm.
And so you see like a country version and like a Bobsy Twins duet type thing and some Motown. And then we meet for the first time Garrett Graham's character, Beef. And Swan says, yes, there's something he'll like. And we don't know who he's talking about. That's not something that Winslow would like. He's talking about someone else who we'll find out about very soon. But yes, we meet the character Beef, who is this sort of hard rock glam metal character
Mhm.
who did
He's
not do
hilarious.
his own singing. You were astute to point that out, and I don't know who did, and I'm gonna feel like a schmuck if I don't look it up.
His
Who
name
did
is
the actual
Ray.
singing for Beef and Phantom of the Paradise? Oh, you knew it. Okay.
Yeah, it's like Ray. I want to say it's Ray Shepard. Does that
Raymond
sound
Lewis
Bishop?
Kennedy.
Is it Bishop? Or...
Ray Kennedy?
Okay.
Yes, Ray
Ray
Kennedy.
Kennedy. Yeah, and I was kind of sad about that because I've seen him in so many movies. Holy cow, have I seen Garrett in so many. I mean, like he's in The Man with One Red Shoe.
Chud 2, Bud the Chud.
Yeah, Bud the Chud. Yeah, I mean he's been in so many different
Airplane
movies.
2.
Chopping Mall, you know.
One of my favorite comedies of all time, and only one segment. It's like multiple segments, but there's one segment that Garrett Graham is in it, is National Lampoon's Favorite Deadly Sins. And during the Wrath segment, he plays the devil, and
Oh
he's got like
wow.
these big horns and everything. It's so
I've
funny.
never seen that.
Oh, it is so freaking funny. Andrew Dice Clay plays the main character in it and tears up the screen. I mean, it's the best thing he ever did.
That's cool. Okay, well, I gotta check that out
But
or
yeah,
find
Garrett
it.
Graham plays the devil in that. And yeah, just tons of stuff over the years. Excellent comedic timing, this guy. And actually, not a bad voice. He sings in the shower during the infamous shower scene in this movie. And I thought he sounded pretty good. I thought he could have pulled off Beef. But they got this professional singer, Raymond Kennedy, to sing it. And yeah, it's amazing. Like when he ends up doing, but we'll get to that point. So yes, he hires Beef to learn the song. And it's so funny when Beef is rehearsing the song. He's like, "This music was scored for a chick. I'm not
Yeah.
doing it in drag." And Paul Williams is like, "You can sing it better than any bitch." And he's like,
It was
"How
awesome.
right you are, Goliath." You know, like it
Snap, snap.
borders on his portrayal of Beef borders on offensive. Because it almost leans into that stereotypical gay male, Bruce character that would have been popular during the 70s. But I think it's more of a genuine,
I
this
know.
is how he felt like a glam rock star would act.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he plays it up, man. He's got like
He's a-
antler belt made of antlers, He's snorting coke, and it's funny. Like as he's snorting cocaine, he looks up and sees the camera, like watching him snort coke, and he gets embarrassed and tries to hide it. Just excellent comedic timing from this Beef character. I love the interactions between him and Philbin. He's like, "Aren't we screwing with a dead man's music?" And Philbin's like, "Who cares? It's just a song." And he's like, "Dry up, Tubbo." Such a freaking hilarious character and great character actor. Yeah, I honestly, Beef is probably was over the years my favorite character in the movie. He kind of stole the show for me.
He's great.
Beef's fantastic. He's so animated and fun and just it reminds me a lot of of on Kids in the Hall when Scott Thompson would play Buddy Cole. He was very, and even Scott Thompson, who is gay,
Right. Would play
and
up the effeminate side.
right,
Yeah.
and would portray Buddy Cole, and he would say, people get so mad because I lisp, and he's like, all of that, all of that anger over a couple extra S's.
Okay, so yeah, back to the chronology. Poor Winslow finds out the hard way that Swan has sold him a bill of goods, and he's taken the cantata and did the old cask of Amontillado, walling him up behind some bricks.
Mm.
And Winslow is trapped behind some bricks, and he's been screwed. Swan stole his music again.
Again, yeah, again.
And
Yeah, I mean,
so,
fool me once, you know.
right. So yeah, I mean, all bets are off at this point. You know, the Phantom, he's just full Phantom mode now. He escapes and finds out that, Beef is going to be doing his song, and um, basically tells Beef during a very psycho-esque shower scene, where he uses, instead of a knife, he uses a plunger. And
That part, I made me laugh out loud like it did when I was 15 again.
yeah,
Seeing
it's
it
got to be
today,
the funniest
it'll
scene in the
never not
movie.
be funny, man. You know.
But yeah, shuts Beef up with a plunger. You're not singing my music anymore.
It's
It's
so funny. It's so funny.
only for Phoenix. Only she can sing it. And so Beef decides he's going to leave, meets Philbin on the stairs on the way out. Philbin's like, "Where you going, Beef? You got a show to do." And he's like, "There ain't going to be no show. I'm going to Cincinnati to see my mother. There's really is a phantom, and he just threatened my life." And it's so fucking funny. Like every
Uh-huh.
line that comes out of Garrett Graham's face in this movie cracks me up.
This
Um,
place is possessed.
yes.
It's fucking
I
funny,
had on
man.
my
Yeah.
phone as a ringtone for the longest time, or as a notification tone, I had him going, "What was that?" when he hears Winslow escaping from the wall. So every time I got a notification, it said, "What was that?"
That's awesome. What was that? That's so good.
Every freaking time. But yeah, so Beef decides, you know what? All right, I'll do some drugs. He knows the difference between drug reel and real reel, but he takes some uppers and he's going to do the show anyway,
Uh-huh.
despite Winslow's warning. So yes, we meet the Undeads. Now the third incarnation of Archie Hahn and company. And this time,
Ah.
yeah, they're doing basically what is like a Alice Cooper kind
Yeah,
of hard
yeah.
rock act, and it was really cool to me to hear Paul Williams's version of a hard rock song,
Yep.
because he's most famous for the Carpenters and Muppet type stuff. But I thought, man, if he had wanted to, he could have made some kick-ass hard rock music. So
Hmm.
very cool
Rainbow
scene.
connection.
The undeads do the opening number for Beef, who comes out in
Hmm.
this Frankenstein outfit. And also Jessica Harper and the backup singers are on stage, kind of putting him together, stitching him together. And he comes out and he does this great number, sung by this other singer who they got to sing, but he performs his ass off. Yeah, I didn't know until years later that he was lip syncing, and his dancing is hilarious. And then, right as the song climaxes, the Phantom gets his revenge, and he throws this
Hmm.
lightning bolt at Beef, and Beef is electrocuted live on stage in front of the audience, and they go crazy. They just can't believe that this show is this awesome. After being titillated by the undeads, and now they've seen a live execution on stage, and the
Hmm.
Phantom is cracking up. Now, one thing that upset me a little bit about Winslow's character, right after that happens, he kills the lighting guy. Like he
Yep.
walks up
Yep.
behind the guy who's doing the lights and strangles him to death for no reason. It's like, dude, you could have just kicked his ass or something. But I thought that was a little mean spirited and a little out of character. So that was honestly my only beef with this movie. No pun intended.
Yay, see what you did there.
Aha. But then, yes, so the audience is going crazy. They want more, but Beef is dead. What are they going to do? Well, they do something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, honestly. If you to bring out a Karen Carpenter type song right after a hard rock number, I
Uh-huh.
don't know that the audience really would have eaten it up as well as they did, but she does such an amazing job that it's implied that the audience just falls in love with her. Phoenix comes out and saves the day.
No.
We see Winslow crying in the background. Everything is wonderful now because he's had his revenge, and now only Phoenix is going to do his music, which is what he has wanted all along. And Swan, being the opportunist that he is, gobbles it right up. He's like, okay, Beef's gone. Sure, Phoenix, you can be the next big star.
Hmm.
And is like blowing smoke up her ass, telling her how amazing she's going to be. And then he takes her to his mansion.
Yeah.
So it's like at this point, I was team Phoenix for the longest time until this moment when she turned into a total whore. And
Said that at the TV.
I did. I said it at the time. I was like, whore? Like, god damn. Like, and I was seriously going, Winslow, you don't need her. Like,
Absolutely. And
Very
so
funny.
that just makes it all the more tragic because this woman that he's in love with, that he's basically sacrificed everything for, become a murderer for,
Basic ass
is now
bitch.
absolutely not giving two shits about the music or the guy that made her
Nope.
who she is now. No, she falls for the producer.
She wants the
Who's
fame.
gonna
And
make
she
her a
even says
big
it. She
star.
says
Yep.
it. She's like, how can I give up the fame?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, bitch. No.
Yeah, that's right. He stops her on the roof. I forgot about
Mhm.
that.
Right.
Taunts her with a rose or lures her with a rose to the rooftop and basically tells her, Swan's evil. And she's like, nah, he's going to give me everything I ever wanted. So
No.
basically,
Yeah.
fuck you. But in her defense, she didn't recognize him and she didn't believe him when he said that he was Winslow. So I mean, there's a little bit of confusion there. She's also high as a kite. We
Yeah,
find
she's
out
pretty-
soon after that. They're sitting in the car smoking weed, and she signs a contract. Now she's also under contract to Swan, just like Winslow is. And so, yes, she returns the freaking whore that she is back to the Swanage, and is making out with Swan on his record bed. And poor Winslow is up on the roof looking through the glass dome ceiling and watching the whole thing,
Yeah.
bawling his eyes out, and he screams. And to fuck everything up all the more, Swan knows that
Has it
Winslow's
on
there.
CCTV. Yeah.
Yes, has him on closed circuit
Yeah, it's
television and is watching Winslow kill himself as he makes out with Winslow's girl.
He's like, yeah.
Like, man,
total tragedy.
Yeah.
Like total tragedy drama of
And
the
like, how
Shakespearean
fucking
level.
evil is Swan? He's like grinning and shit. He's not even
Ooh.
paying attention to Phoenix, and she's making out with him, and poor Winslow. So yeah, he kills himself. And you would think that'd probably be where the movie ends, but then
Oh, no.
things get scary.
It gets wild.
Oh, it gets
Yeah,
fucking
I was
crazy,
not
man.
expecting this turn the first time I
Yep.
watched this film. And I loved it. Everything gets really dark really quickly.
Yep.
And so Swan comes out and finds Winslow all bloodied up with a knife in his chest, takes the knife out.
You're not
Winslow
dead.
wakes up. He says, you know what?
You can't be dead.
You don't expire until your contract expires, which is never, and then
Get to commit
Winslow's like,
suicide.
holy
You
shit.
expire when I expire. Yep.
It's a life contract. You
Yep.
belong to me. And then Winslow, does what I would do and says, fuck you, and stabs Swan with a knife.
Yep.
And Swan just calmly removes the knife and says, oh, yeah, I'm under a contract to.
I made the same shitty deal.
Holy shit.
Uh-huh.
So yes, everything is all like weird and Faustian and like.
Paul Williams in a bathtub.
Yes. And so that's a scene that comes up not long after that. Winslow sneaks into Paul Williams's archives and discovers these old videotapes, or actually, I guess 8mm tapes of Swan when he was young, like 30 years prior, basically saying that I'm on top of the world. Things can't get any better for me. And now I'm going to kill myself
Watch myself grow old.
Yeah, I don't want to see myself grow old. And then you see in the mirror image,
starts talking
back to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa, I am stoned. And he's like, are you supposed to be the devil? And he's like, I go by many names. And so an excellent performance by Paul Williams as both a younger version of
Paul
himself
Williams and Paul Williams.
the devil, And so, yeah, we learn that Swan has basically sold his soul to the devil for eternal youth.
Yep.
And then we get a little picture of Dorian Gray thrown in for texture.
Yes.
He says, this image, meaning the tape that's recording the video, will
goes
age
up,
in your
you
place.
go
And
up.
so, and it's funny, he says, you must guard it with your life, for when it goes, you go.
You go.
And right at that moment, you see Winslow kind of give the side eye to the tape. He's like, oh, interesting. And so this is all leading up to the big climax where they're going to have this huge wedding at the Paradise where Phoenix is going to marry Swan. And the reporters are all pissed off because Swan is wearing a mask. Why is he wearing a mask? Because his image can't be taken because of this weird deal that he has with the devil. So
Yep.
he never has his picture.
No pictures.
And so he's going to marry Phoenix. And then we find out that all along Swan has been plotting in the background to murder Phoenix, so that he can have this moment that he had with Beef where the audience is responding to a live assassination. Only this
Oh my
time it's going to be
God.
televised all over the world. And so, yeah, it's weird. There's like all these vibes of like, where do you draw the line with entertainment?
Mm.
What's acceptable, what's not. A little bit of snuff film ethics thrown in there. And so we see that Winslow discovers a secret videotape of that conversation about how he's going to execute Phoenix on live TV. And so he's like, oh my God, I got to stop this. So he decides to burn down the archives. Then he runs to the paradise to rescue Phoenix. He does barely get there in time, right as till death do you part. The assassin that they've hired to kill Phoenix, Winslow stops him just in time, swipes the gun to the side. Philbin gets killed instead. And then we see that Swan's face is all fucked up now.
Oh, totally
Yeah,
fucked up.
it's like
Because
Freddy
he
Krueger
takes
shit.
He takes the swing at the stage, just like in Phantom of the Opera, and
Yes,
knocks
loved
Paul
it.
Williams down. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool.
The place is going crazy because this is all just like live entertainment with this awesome music, disco 70s music playing,
It's very popcorn.
celebrating.
It's like
this-
popcorn. Oh, you cocksucker. I didn't know he was gonna say that.
This
But
is
it's
what
like
we're-
pop, but it's like popcorn. It's like the end of popcorn where they're
Yeah,
all on
Popcorn the movie,
stage.
yeah.
Stage show. The audience thinks it's part of the show, but it's not. Shit's happening.
Yes,
Yeah,
and so they show like a couple of people from the audience like actually starting to take part in what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
One of the characters hops up on stage, grabs a Death Records mask off one of the really
starts
scantily
stabbing
clad
people with it.
dancers and stabs Swan with it after he sees Winslow stabbing Swan. And so he's become part of the act now,
That crowd
which is
mentality.
another like little commentary, well, that's really weird and interesting, And so, yeah, Winslow kills Swan. He gets dragged away by overzealous audience participators. And Phoenix is just utterly confused as to what's going on. Philbin's dead. Swan's dead, been carried off. And now finally, Winslow, the wound on his chest has opened back up because Swan has died. And now Winslow's going to die. And his mask comes off. And then finally, Phoenix recognizes Winslow. She sees the unburnt side of his face right as he dies and recognizes, she says, oh, it's Winslow. And so she goes and holds him as he dies. And that's our terribly sad ending to Phantom of the Paradise, which then nicely segues into a wonderful musical number
I love this song so
called The Hell of It.
much.
Yes. And they show the cast and crew, and it's just an amazing kind of credits sequence song. And The Hell of It. So after this movie came out, Paul Williams guest starred on an episode of The Brady Bunch, like their Halloween episode, and performed this song like during a costume party.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's on YouTube somewhere. It's hilarious. But yeah, that is Phantom of the fucking Paradise. And
Woo.
I cannot overstate how much I love this movie. I don't think I've ever rattled off one of our movies like so quickly in chronology and squeezed so much stuff in. So I'm sorry, guys, if I steamrolled over you a little bit, but that is how much I love this fucking movie.
Fun movie. Yeah.
Yes. Loved it.
So let's do the scared shit list.
You will be scared shitless.
For those of you who don't know, but if you're in season 2, you probably know by now, the scared shit list is the namesake of the show where we discuss what was actually scary during the film or what may have scared us in the right settings or environment if we had been young and watched it or late at night by ourselves. And so for me, it's the part that I mentioned where everything kind of gets really dark really quickly, and Winslow tries to kill himself and finds out, oh, he can't die because he's under a contract. And then you find out, oh shit, Swan's under a contract too. And then you find out, oh, he's under a contract to the fucking devil, So it just is very dark and Faustian, and I fucking loved it. And it added just the right amount of horror to what otherwise is basically a musical comedy. So
Mm-hmm. I think that the thing that scared me the most was just the fact that the Faustian Pact in general, and though in this film it's taken literally, of like you're gonna give me your life, you're gonna give me your body, you're gonna give me control over
your
everything.
voice. Yeah.
Right, your
How
voice.
famous you wanna be.
Right. But it also comes to like, well, because you would always like to think is being like, a good person, right? It was like, oh, I would never make a deal with the devil. No, I would never, right? But for the right thing, right? Like if somebody was like, I can make your significant other healed, or I can make your dog live forever, or I can, whatever.
Whatever is your
Oh
price.
shit! Yeah.
Everybody has a
Whatever your price is, right?
it, yeah.
And I always think of it as like that would be the thing. Like the devil would
I just
know.
pictured you kneeling in front of Darth Sidious to save Murphy. It's
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like exactly. So exactly. It would just be like, okay, well, what's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So what's your thing? And I think that is terrifying because I think everyone has a price.
Yeah, and it's different things for different people. I mean, for Winslow, it was immortalizing his music through the woman that he loved.
Yep.
And for Phoenix, it was just the fame and glory. I want those faces and those
Sure.
people, seeing me, and of course, yes, for Swan, it was eternal life, eternal youth.
The scariest thing for me in the movie, aside from Susie Banion's dance when she's singing, is um, after he goes through all that shit, he goes to prison for his music and for her. When he's on the roof of that building and sees that she's no fucking different than any other chick when she's in there making out with Paul and, doing the nasty. Um, and then she's just like, "Oh, how famous can I be?" Blah blah blah. That's the part for me where it's like you did all that stuff, even some supernatural shit, and it's for naught, man. That sucks. To me, that's the moment where it's like, all right, I'm going doing wet work now. So he just brings it all down after that. So yeah. That to me, that's the scariest part because it's like, man, shucks, everything. So yeah.
Yeah. Everything you devoted your shit to was wrong,
Yeah.
It's for nothing.
It's for nothing. Yeah, it sucks.
So let's try to rate this movie. As far as horror, musical, comedy, romance movies go, I'm gonna give it 5 stars because there's not a whole lot of those out there to begin with. You got Rocky Horror, you got Rockula, you got the other musical type stuff like Little Shop of Horrors and Sweeney Todd, which were made into movies. But not a whole lot of movies like this that are, rock operas that have horror themes. So it's the cream of the crop as far as I'm concerned, at the very least for the 70s. For all horror movies of all time, I'll give it a 4 out of 5 because there are moments where, it's a little clunky and it's more comedy than horror and doesn't quite know what it wants to be at certain points. It's also a little dated in parts, but movies in general, I'm also going to give it 4 out of 5 stars, which I rarely would do. But it's an important fucking movie for a lot of reasons, most of which I blathered on about at the beginning. It was nominated for an Oscar for one of the songs for Old Souls, which is a beautiful song. That's Phoenix's song that she sings. Just listen to the lyrics sometime, just about how romantic they are about star-crossed lovers. Absolutely brilliant song. You can see why a few years later he would get an Oscar for A Star Is Born, Evergreen with Barbara Streisand. So yeah, just a beautiful fucking movie, very important film. It's a cult classic for sure. So yeah, 544 for me.
I'm gonna say this is a 5. This is absolutely a 5. In terms of just awesomeness, just kitsch factor, just over the top, wild rock opera, which is my favorite fucking thing in the whole wide world. I love rock operas. So I would give it a 5 out of 5. And I guess as a horror film, I don't really see it too much as a horror film. I mean, I see it more like a doomed romance. Like very,
Yeah, and
I
there's
don't
so
really
many
see,
movies that we do that really technically
yeah, like
aren't
I don't know if
horror
I see
movies.
Phantom as a horror film either. Because I just see it as a doomed romance or unrequited love or that kind of thing. Um, So I would probably give it like a 3 out of 5 as far as that goes. But then overall, I would just give it a 5 out of 5. It's just, I
Yeah.
think it's fantastic and I will be watching it
And that'd be
again.
my overall rating as well, would be
Yeah,
a 5 out of 5.
totally awesome.
It's one of those like Jaws 3 and Dreamscape, which we haven't done Jaws 3 yet, but we will someday, just because that, transcends genre. It's
Mhm.
just, it's a work of art. It's colorful, it's fun. So,
Yeah, that's how I see this movie. It checks off all the boxes on everything. It's so it's so out there that it's hard not to like it. It's one of those movies. It's hard not to find something in it to like. Um, for rock operas, it's like you said, the cream of the crop. And like for me, I was like a weird 15-year-old. So for this movie to draw me in at 15, it's crazy. So it has a lot of sentimental value for me. It has a lot of rewatch value. Um, yeah, it checks off all the boxes. As a movie in general, its importance is very high. So it's like 5. I give it a complete 5 swan wigs out of 5.
Forgot we have to do the thing. Okay. Um, I will give it,
Five swan
ooh.
wigs out of 5 total.
Okay, 5 plungers out of
Yeah.
5.
perfect. Yes.
Let's get
If
it.
there's any prop that I'd
Someone else
like from
fucking
this
said
movie,
that,
it's the
man. Five
plunger.
punches in the face.
I would be that sucker that buys the plunger from Phantom of the Paradise off of eBay for
Yeah,
50
man.
bucks or whatever.
Total. That's a piece of history, man.
course.
It should be in the Smithsonian, damn it.
Of course.
Get that sucker bronzed. Yeah. I do highly recommend the Blu-ray. It's got some beautiful special features on it.
Well, that.
There's also a supplementary film out there now called The Phantom of Winnipeg, which
Oh.
discusses how it became an
The
unlikely
convention.
hit in the city of Winnipeg, Canada,
Man,
That's cool.
or
I
the
love this
province,
movie. I
rather.
love this movie so much. Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's really good.
That's so awesome. Mm, I really love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna now discuss briefly our show moving forward. So the next thing that I had proposed we do was Friday the 13th, part 3, because we've already done part 1 and 2.
I'm in.
Okay, if that sounds good to you guys, I will brush up on my part 3 lore.
We have a
This
book.
is, we're getting back into like some really important mainstream shit now. So I'll do as much homework as I can before next Sunday. And
Slinky's the expert on this one.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
this
Catherine Parks, man. I met my girl. I met my girl. I got to meet Vera.
this is one that you could probably rattle this
I
off
can
like
probably
plot
do this.
point by plot point. Yeah, he could probably
Whenever
take
we
this.
watch Friday 3 or 4, there's a scene where they show the barn and there's that reindeer, that concrete reindeer. And I always joke with her and I always say, "Hey, babe, like that deer's in the Smithsonian." She's always like, "Oh my God." Yeah, it's really funny. It's really funny.
Gets me every
Every
time.
time.
Doesn't
And
matter.
it historically has not been one of my favorites, but I still find myself watching it like all the freaking time. So I guess technically it is one of my favorites, but
3's fucking trash, man. Like I will flat out tell anybody 3 is a joke, but I love it because it's very significant, and I will explain a myriad of reasons why it's significant in the series. So
yeah, I mean,
it does
I
a lot
got
of shit
mad that
first.
Catherine Parks wasn't the final girl. I thought she would have been
No, and
perfect.
she got robbed, and I told her to her face, and she gave me a hug just for that.
That's so awesome.
She told me I was quite the personality. She said she gave me a kiss on my cheek. Yeah.
Shelley's the original
cute.
incel.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about this movie.
Part 3 is wild, man.
Rick trying to get his dick wet. I'm in.
Mhm.
I'm so in to talk about this movie.
It's funny, for Christmas, her sister got us a book. She got both of us a book. It's Friday the 13th. Well, there's 2 books. She got one. It's a Friday the 13th part 3 trivia book. That's all it's about, is Friday 3. And then she got us another book. It's 100 questions from each part of Friday the 13th. So that's 13, or that's 1,200 questions. Then there's another 100 questions just about the series in general. We got those for Christmas. So we're gonna be stacked on fuck by the time we do this. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Very excited.
All right. Well, that should be more fun than a room full of cats in a room full of rocking chairs. I don't know.
Hey,
Long tail cat in a room full of rocking chairs. That's
there
it.
you go.
Or barrel monkeys, etc. All right then. Friday 13th, part 3 next week. Love you guys. Thank you for watching one of my favorite movies and doing this show with me.
Oh, and thank you for introducing me to it. I absolutely love it. The music is just, oh God, it's so good.
I'm so glad you liked it.
So good,
Glad you
dude.
loved
So
it.
fucking good. All right. Have a good week.